Showcasing local talent, professionals, and everyday people making Salt Lake City what it is today. It's time for another episode of the I Am Salt Lake podcast.
As always, recording out of beautiful downtown Salt Lake City, Utah. Welcome to the I Am Salt Lake podcast. For those of you just tuning in for the first time, thank you so much. My name is Chris Hollifield. I am the host here. This is my show. This is the podcast where we showcase professionals, businesses, local musicians, authors, just anybody, people that are making Salt Lake City just a little bit better. So thank you so much for joining in and listening to my podcast. IamSaltLake.com is the website. You can head to the website, and that's where you can find all of the previous episodes where I had some great conversations with a lot of great individuals, a lot of people that are making Salt Lake City tick and make me proud to call Salt Lake City home. So head on over to IamSaltLake.com. Jerem from Crucial Fest and Exigent Records came in to the studios. That's who I'm going to be talking to today on today's episodes. We're going to be talking about Crucial Fest. That's going on the end of June 26th through the 29th at multiple venues in downtown Salt Lake City. Get in touch with that, crucialfest.com. They have a Kickstarter going on, some really great deals for people that pledge and get involved with that. I'm going to put all the links at IamSaltLake.com/episode 67. We're going to play a few tracks from a few bands that are going to be playing Crucial Fest throughout the interview. So that way you'll get a little bit of taste of what Crucial Fest is going to be doing and what it's going to be all about, and get involved with that if you'd like to get involved, and make sure you go and check that out. The voicemail line is always open, 385-202-5926. Give me a call if you have any feedback, suggestions, or if you just want to say hello. Let's jump into that conversation that I had with Jerem as we talk about Crucial Fest. So we have Jerem back on the show from Exigent Records. We're going to talk about Crucial Fest coming up. What are the exact dates of Crucial Fest, just so we can announce that right at the start? We'll get into more detail.
June 26th through 29th.
Okay.
Various
venues, and we'll get more into detail in that as we progress in the recording.
Thanks
here.
For having me back, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you for coming back. I mean, that was back in like February that you and your partner Thomas came and sat down, and now you're doing it solo today.
Yep.
Appreciate you coming and talking.
Thomas couldn't be with us today.
Yeah,
bless his heart. He's working hard on this as well.
I'm sure there's a lot going on, and it's very stressful. Let's catch up a little bit on Exigent. I mean, is there anything new with Exigent that you got?
You know what? Honestly, at this time of year, Exigent turns over all resources to Crucial Fest. So that's pretty much all we think about. We have plans for things that we want to do after Crucial Fest, but we're not really going to be acting on them until that point. So we want to record and release some music from Worst Friends and from Cicadas. Possibly do a split and a couple EPs or something. That's to come. Other than that, though, it's full force Crucial Fest.
Excellent. And this is your third year doing Crucial Fest, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if we might have talked about it, and when we sat down before, kind of the history behind it, just in case somebody who's listening
It's essentially us wanting to have a festival here in Salt Lake that's like festivals that happen elsewhere in the nation. We just don't have the ability to get to all these other festivals, and we're sort of jealous, so we decided rather than whine about it, we just wanted to have a festival here that represents the music that we like and that we are passionate about, which is basically loud rock and roll.
In the last couple of years has been pretty good. The response has been really good, it seems like.
Yep,
so.
We had about a 30% growth in attendance to the second year, and we're hoping to have something like that this year.
30% growth even this year.
Yeah, we think so.
This year, what's different about is there anything different about this year versus last year?
Yeah, last year we tried an experiment because there's just so much interest in the festival last year and so many bands that wanted to play.
Yeah.
That we decided to try doing it 2 weeks in a row.
Okay.
And it worked all right, but it sort of the second week didn't have quite the energy as the first. And so we decided this year to try for the first time doing simultaneous shows going on at different venues. Luckily, on Exchange Place, where we figured out we could actually pull this off, we have Wasted Space and the Shred Shed. And also, we just talked to the Heavy Metal Shop, and they're going to have some bands play. And we're going to have an outside stage, so we're going to have all that music going on all at the same time. But it's going to be accessible. People can walk half a block to see all of it.
So you're going to have shows at Wasted Space, the Heavy Metal Shop, Shred Shed. Where else are some?
And outside on the stage. That's going to be Friday and Saturday during the daytime.
Okay.
Then there's going to be bar shows at night, the Woodshed, Bird's Tiki Lounge, Urban Lounge, Bar Deluxe. Then there's also going to be some shows at Kilby Court.
And what is the cost of the whole deal?
Well, the cost for us or the cost of the ticket?
No. Well, no, we don't need to get into what it costs you guys, but the cost
transparency is fine with me.
The cost for the whole festival.
So it's $25 in advance or $30 week of.
So save some money and get your tickets in advance. And I'm sure that helps you guys out with even getting the festival going.
Totally.
Where can people go get tickets for that?
Gray Whale Entertainment.
Okay.
And then we're also going to be doing a Kickstarter and giving away tickets as incentives for helping us out with that.
Okay, and we'll get into Kickstarter here in just 1 second. I want to mention, I'll put the links. Is there a link online that people can get tickets to or no?
Not yet. We'll have them through the Kickstarter.
Okay, because I was going to say I'll throw that up on the
crucialfest.com. We'll have the links to everything people need for the festival.
Okay, what's going on with the Kickstarter? You mentioned you're going to do a Kickstarter. Anything you want to share with that, or when's that expected?
We were lucky enough to have this company, Wild Wasatch Media, help us out and do a video. That was really cool. But we basically decided to do a Kickstarter because this year we have more costs to cover. We basically decided to pay out more to local bands. So we have a lot to cover in that realm.
And what the Kickstarter, people can help out with the funds there, and then what do they get? Yeah. I know Kickstarter usually get something in return.
I mean, it's essentially like pre-selling tickets. People can get their ticket through Kickstarter and help us to get those funds in advance. They'll also be able to get the T-shirts and posters that we'll be selling at the festival in advance.
Okay.
People can also do sponsorships as rewards through the
if they want to donate a larger amount.
If they want to donate a larger amount, we'll give them all the credit we possibly can. We even have for the, if someone wants to get crazy about it, we'll give them, lifetime tickets to the festival and lifetime access to all Exigent Records releases.
And all the secret bathrooms and the clean bathrooms to use and all that good stuff, right? So is there like an expected date of that to launch? Or
yeah, well, we're trying to do it tomorrow. It might end up being Tuesday.
Yeah, so it'll be up by the time this gets recorded or online. It will be up already. So have the links up for that and go support that. Let's play a track. Let's before we get too far into it, let's play a track from one of the bands that are going to be playing the Crucial Fest.
Cool. I want to do this track from Hurricane Gig. It's called Like a Gun, and it features Luna Loon. This year we're doing a hip-hop showcase and really trying to emphasize hip-hop as part of the local scene and something that's congruent with the hardcore rock scene as far as mentality goes, trying to kind of cross-promote a little bit. So I think Hurricane Gig is one of the bands I'm most excited about in the hip-hop genre.
What day are they playing?
They're playing Friday, June 28th at Bar Deluxe.
At Bar Deluxe. Excellent. We'll play the track. We'll come back and we'll talk some more.
I told them I didn't want to know. They told me I should probably know anything and everything that I fit inside my hollow soul. Everything starts to fall like a row of dominoes. Forget about the present, now we think how will tomorrow go. With everything we put in, there's no probable way we couldn't ended up with what we wanted. How could they be so dishonest after telling them the truth and everything that we went through? But for some reason I knew that this is what they do. But I know that I'll do better from now on. I'll never let up, I know I'm not alone when I say I feel so fed up with lies and situations that we all seem to put out with. Be glad with what we have instead of a thing we stuck with. I know they say stay positive, it's harder than they say it is to the people who are opposite. Rethink cause you were made for this, and wouldn't it be easier to wish away the pain? But if all you do is wish, then this will never change. Isn't this as natural or is this irrational? Fear that I have before my sake, I hope that it is actual.
Like a gun, hold you cold in my hands. Pull the trigger, gonna run, but it's gonna get you faster than you know I can. Like a gun, hold you cold in tremble as I shake, I feel you take my heart away, 'cause you know you can.
Told me it was meant to be, how you feel when you mention me, and how you knew that it was real. Eyes would talk, lips would seal, fell for 100 stories. I'm falling 100 stories, thought I knew it all. I predicted it poorly, surely you wouldn't let me fall. I fell for all that you told me, hold me in the palm of your hand. See how long I can stand, acting like you can't understand, but I see it's all in your plan. You watch me but don't stop me as it all comes clear. I knew it, but I didn't want to listen to my fear. Wish I could see the end, my destruction's what I defend. The closest to my soul past you, not a contender. In denial of myself because I see you're a pretender. Perceive what I want to hear, tell me just how I want to feel. Done with that, moving on. Thought it worked, I'm proving wrong. Going round in circles, now I see why I'm a target. Wish I would've known this when I started. Wouldn't have left myself unguarded. Like, isn't this just natural, or is this an irrational fear that I have? But for my sake, I hope that this is actual.
Like a gun, hold you cold in my hands. Pull the trigger, gonna run, but it's gonna get you faster than you know I can. Like a gun, hold you cold in my hands. As I tremble, as I shake, I feel you take my heart away, 'cause you know you can. Just run away, just run away. I have a faith, I have a faith. Just run away, just run away. I have a faith, my heart will fade.
Let's talk a little bit about your sponsors. One I was really interested in finding out more about when you posted it is the City of Salt Lake actually sponsored, is one of the sponsors.
Yeah.
For the, I mean, how did that come about?
I think that's what we're most excited about this year, because that's sort of a sign to us that Crucial Fest is gaining recognition and momentum. The city has a signature events fund, which is something that they have a budget to support events that they feel contribute to the culture and to the well-being of Salt Lake City. And so we filled out a proposal and sent it to them and sort of just submitted our ideas and why we think we qualify. And they got back to us and decided that we did. So we're really excited that they're part of the festival this year.
That must have been just the feeling that they're backing it and supporting it must have just been put you on cloud nine and just...
It really did. I mean, this whole festival is 100% about Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
We love living here. We love the music that's here. And it's really cool to see that the city is supportive of that.
Well, that's what I love about the festival too, is, I mean, with what I'm doing with supporting local stuff, supporting you guys and seeing the people that are supporting, and even the fact that Salt Lake City, it's like, okay, this city is promoting something like Crucial Fest versus just your typical whatever else they
I don't know how common that is for cities to support things of this nature.
Yeah.
I feel really privileged.
Yeah. What are some of the other sponsors that you got?
So we have Heart of Gold Tattoo.
Excellent tattoo shop. Yeah,
they're great. Corey's a good friend of mine, and also his other shop, Horseshoe Tattoo, is sponsoring the event. He's just a believer and contributor to the local scene. Wild Wasatch Media, I mentioned. Gray Whale Entertainment is part of the festival. They sell our tickets, so they help promote. I'm good friends with Dustin at Gray Whale, and he's always been great and very supportive of Exigent Records and Crucial Fest.
Do they sell your releases too? The Exigent?
They do, yeah. They carry all of them. So
so go support Gray Whale.
Definitely. It's really cool to see them surviving in this type of climate by diversifying and,
Yeah, you walk into Gray Whale and you're just like, whoa, blast from the past, the fact that CD stores. And
KRCL is part of it again this year. They'll help us out with some promotion and they'll have a presence there. The Road Home, we've invited as a sponsor to come on board. We wanted to do something that we could feel good about, so we decided to donate 10% of the proceeds this year.
Oh, excellent.
To the Road Home. I saw, it was like a year ago, that Day Hymns played, and John, their lead singer, called it hardcore tithing. They donate 10% of their money to charities, and so I thought that was a really cool idea. Just want to support that kind of idea where local bands, hardcore bands, whatever, are making it a point to show that they're supporting the community.
is that all of them, or
let's see. There's Sound vs. Silence, another cool local record.
Yeah, actually, label. I did an interview with Tyler on
awesome
few episodes back.
Spilt Ink, they do all our printing. They do a really good job. Slug Magazine is doing it again this year as well. I hope that's all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, AFLA, Artists for Local Agriculture, is doing it. And then Paid in Design.
And I know you have them all mentioned on the website, too,
yep.
In case you missed any. I know you can't mention all of the bands just because what is it, like 70 bands are playing?
Like 70 bands.
Yeah. I mean, what are a few of that you're really, really excited about? I mean, or is that gonna make some people feel bad if you don't mention
Well,
them?
I think out of 70 bands, I think it'll be fine. I'm really excited about Burning Love playing at the Shred Shed. They're from Toronto, so they'll be the first international band to play.
Oh, wow.
Crucial Fest. Muscle Hawk is playing again, and they're always fun. They're going to play the last band of the festival. They're always a lot of fun because they usually play towards the end of the festival, late at night. Everyone's had a good time, and then we all just dance. And so that's something I'm excited about. I'm really into Ox Cross, Day Hymns, Settle Down. I mentioned Harrison Gig.
Yeah.
Also, Atheist is another local rapper that I'm pretty into.
Who I had on the podcast as well. There you go. And Jeff Anderson from Oxcross, who was on a previous episode.
Nice.
So, yeah,
it's all connected.
Yeah,
in Salt Lake.
We're all connected in Salt Lake, yeah. Was there a band that you asked that you were surprised responded? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you were like, hey, do you want to come play the festival? And then they said, sure. And you were like, what? You kind of blew you away a little bit, or not really?
Not really. I had some interest from some really cool bands that hopefully I'll get to be on the festival next year. Author and Punisher wanted to do it, but he couldn't make it this year. Kowloon Walled City was interested. They had some prior engagements. I'd really like to get them on next year as well. So I feel like the reach is kind of getting out there. More national bands are recognizing it and showing some interest.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether or not it lines up is one thing, because it sort of is the type of festival that has to be on a convenient tour. We can't really afford to bring a band all the way from New York or whatever to play the festival.
Maybe one of these years.
But maybe one of these years, that's the goal.
Let's play another song from a band that will be at Crucial Fest.
Okay, let's hear a song from Settle Down. It's called Hitchhiker.
Settle Down, Hitchhiker, and we'll come back, chat some more, and find out some more about Crucial Fest. So do you get a lot of people from out of state, say, that are coming into the festival?
Yeah, we have a pretty good representation this year. We have from all around the nation. We've got water liars from Mississippi.
Well, no, I mean, like, as far as, like, people. Like, do people, like, do you think people...
most of the out-of-state people that come in are people that have roots here.
Yeah.
And it's their excuse to come party in Salt Lake for a week and see all their friends and everything.
Yeah.
We have maybe 5 or 10 people that come from out of state.
Okay.
There's a handful of people that might come down from Boise or come up from...
Well, I was just curious, like places that you would recommend, like maybe, eateries nearby the events or anything like that.
Well, I'm always a fan of Este Pizza.
Yeah.
They've been sponsoring the...
Well, the Pie Hole's right around the corner.
And the Pie Hole's right there,
Right around the corner from
pizza joint.
From the Shred Shed.
Salt Lake City Pizza.
Yeah. I was just kind of curious, any recommendations if people listening that might decide to, say they found out about the festival.
Is good. I've heard Frisch is really good. I haven't had a chance to get in there yet.
Yeah, great.
Vertical Diner is always classic.
Some good vegan eats there.
Yeah.
But, so, hopefully, it brings people to the city and, it helps Salt Lake City and kind of, expose it a little bit more.
Yeah. And I think as the years go on, it's definitely going to do that more and more, especially where Salt Lake's kind of at a crossroads of the nation. There's a lot of cities that...
Well, because I know a lot of people like, I don't know if the festivals even go on anymore, like Hellfest and stuff out in New York and stuff like that. People would just travel, come from other countries to come see some of the bands.
Totally.
There, and maybe,
a lot of festivals like that. And I think, in the 5, 6, 7 year range, I think that we'll get to that point.
Yeah.
But right now it's just taking one step at a time. And this year, I think the thing that I'm most excited about and the thing I see as the most progressive is that we found an area in downtown on Exchange Place where we can have a base.
Yeah.
If you've been to South by Southwest, they closed down a large part of the city and it's sort of centered and there's all these venues around it. And in Salt Lake City, that I think is the best place for something like that. Because even outside of the venues that are participating this year, there's also, the Circle Lounge, Green Pig, Jackalope. There's a lot of bars all around there that could potentially be involved in future years.
So, yeah, and if you want a beer or something, go over to one of those bars.
There's plenty of bars right around there, which works out great because trying to serve alcohol at the outdoor part of it, we're going to have a market on Exchange Place, is a pain. And this works out really well because there's all ages and bars. People can go around as they please.
Are you going to have like other vendors at all? Like people selling other stuff at all? Or is that?
Yeah, we're going to bring in like a couple food carts. Then we're going to have local artists and a lot of our sponsors come down and set up tents. We're in the permitting process right now with the city to close down Exchange Place. We'll set up a little stage and a PA for acoustic acts outside. Have some food and some fun and some artists and
is that a pretty big headache to get the street shut down?
It is. And when we did it the first year, we did that type of thing at Liberty Park.
Yeah.
Which was a huge headache. It also turned out to be a lot of fun. And so the second year we were kind of like, let's see what happens if we don't do that. But this year, especially since we're being sponsored by the city, we have a little bit of the money ahead of time that we need to do something like that with the, permitting costs and insurance and whatever.
Well, plus Exchange Place really isn't that busy of a road, so it's not like it's going to affect the city that much.
And we're just going to close it down from State Street to the parking garage, so people will still have access to that parking garage.
Uh-huh.
So we'll just basically be closing it down from like the Shred Shed Heavy Metal Shop to the corner, and I think it's going to be a really good little area. It'll be compact enough that it's not going to feel empty. We'll be able to fill it up with 15 to 20 vendors. That's going to be right in the middle of the mix between the Shred Shed and Wasted Space and the Heavy Metal Shop. People can walk all around. I think it's going to be a great time.
It's something I'm definitely looking forward to. There's a lot of really, really cool bands playing the event that I want to check out. Let's play another track. I think you got a couple more there we can play here. What's another track you want to play?
We're going to do a track from Harmon's Heart, which is my solo project, to sort of show some of the variety that will be at Crucial Fest.
Yeah.
And this track's called Sparks Fly.
Sparks Fly. And what do you play? Just your solo, but just you by yourself?
Just me. I do all of it.
Excellent. Well, I'm really excited to play this now then. So, all right.
It's fun.
cross these coals. Still my feet are frozen. I ball my hands up tight. Leave the fight. Leave the fight. 'Cause the devil never said. No, the devil never said anything to fight. To fight. 'Cause the devil never said. No, the devil never said anything to fight. To fight. To fight. Push against this door. Still my wrists are ready. A reason with defeat. Bruise my knees. Bruise my knees. Taste nothing but your own mouth. Hearing only ear canals. Sinning is waiting around. Sinning is settling down. 'Cause the devil never said. No, the devil never said anything to fight, to fight. 'Cause the devil never said. No, the devil never said anything to fight, to fight, to fight. See the sparks come out of me. See the sparks fly out of me. And all inside is dry, dry. See these sparks fly out of me. See the sparks come out of me. And all I see is dry, 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 dry.
I'm sure things are really, I mean, as you get closer, you get more and more stressed out. I mean, when does a real stress begin?
About a month ago.
About a month ago. Okay. So it's already like in full effect.
I don't know. It starts in January and it's like I put in, 5 to 10 hours a week to sort of line some things up. By February, it's 10 to 15. At this point, it's almost a full 40 hours a week type of thing. Not quite. In June, it will be.
Yeah,
more and more things just come up as you get closer and you realize, oh, wow, there's all these details I wasn't thinking about. Especially doing the day market, which we'll be doing on Exchange Place Friday and Saturday, the 28th and 29th. There are so many little things to do with that. Getting all these supplies, getting a first aid tent, meeting with the fire marshal.
The day market, as far as like...
That's the outside portion on Exchange Place, closing down the street.
Okay.
Calling it a day market, I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, I like it. It sounds fancy.
Yeah, doesn't it?
So, but on top of it, you're working a regular full-time job too, or no?
No, I'm looking for a job. I work part-time.
Okay.
So it works out all right. I'm pretty flexible at this point.
What would you say there's got to be a rewarding thing. I mean, what
Well, once the festival starts, it's like all the stress goes away because we've planned, we've prepared, we have everything in line. We have volunteers helping us out. Once the festival starts, it's really not that stressful for me. I'm kind of able to let go and just enjoy it. That's when I really have a good time.
I could imagine. What's the feeling like? I mean, doing it 2 years previously, when it's all over. I mean, describe that feeling.
Well,
I mean,
partly it's a relief, and
accomplishment.
Partly it's kind of a euphoria.
Yeah.
Especially since it's been successful.
Yeah.
When I go into a venue and it ends up being packed, to capacity, I feel like it's a like it's a success. And like all the work that Thomas and I and, a lot of other people put into it was really worth it. And it's a great feeling.
Now you mentioned other people. Can other people volunteer? Like if somebody's listening and
we'll be looking for volunteers.
I want to volunteer.
Watch the Exigent SLC Facebook and crucialfest.com. In the upcoming weeks, we'll be looking for a few volunteers. We need some stage managers, a merch person or two, and just sort of some auxiliary do whatever random chores come up throughout the night type of people. And then for the market, we'll need a couple people running back and forth doing things.
So you need quite a bit of people, and then obviously people, you probably love people to repost on Facebook or Twitter, huge. Just to share,
especially as it gets closer. It's nice for people to post just the Crucial Fest link and check this out, but I really like it more when someone is excited about a specific band, or a certain sponsor, or one of the shows, and they're like, check this out. This is what I'm most excited about Crucial Fest.
Now, what if like say, I mean, obviously I want to check out the whole thing, but what if somebody just wants to come for one day or check out one band? Is there any like deals for that, or is it
entry at any given show will be $10.
$10, okay.
The day market will have bands playing outside for free. The heavy metal shop's going to have bands playing for free. Of course, only about 25 people can fit in that place, but it's there's still going to be access for people that want to go see something for free or just check out the event. And then to get into one particular show is $10.
So it's obviously a savings to just get the whole pass.
Yeah, it's $25. I mean, if you go to 3 shows, then it's paid for itself.
Excellent. Anything else you want to cover? I mean, I think we got a lot of it covered.
On the Kickstarter, we have, the whole written thing that sort of outlines what the festival is.
Yeah.
It talks all about it. It talks about why we are looking for help. And so I just refer people to check out the Kickstarter, check out crucialfest.com.
Yeah, to get involved and
And don't be afraid to hit us up about anything that you want to be involved with, or if you want to help promote it, or, we're still looking to try to get some more attention in the press or whatever we can do. So, this is a community event and we want people to contribute.
And that's what I love about it. Anything else? I mean, obviously the festival is probably your main thing, what you're looking forward to this summer. Anything else going on in Salt Lake that you care to mention that you're looking forward to this summer?
I'm so blindsided by my goals and what I'm doing with Crucial Fest that I don't pay attention to much else.
Yeah. No, I can respect that. I can definitely respect that. I mean, summertime, I think is, in Salt Lake is kind of, I call it that magical time of the year. Everybody comes out of their houses and
there's so much going on. I mean, there's the Urban Arts Festival, there's the farmers markets, there's so much going on. It's hard to cover all of it.
And, I'll have all the links on the website. And so, people listening can check that out. You're on Twitter, Facebook. I think, we talked about it obviously in the previous, interview that we did before. Does Crucial Fest have its own website then? I guess just crucialfest.com.
Crucialfest.com, exigentrecords.com.
Okay.
Twitter at Crucialfest, at Exigent Records. It's pretty easy stuff to find.
And just keeping busy with those is a full-time job alone right there. So.
Yeah. Luckily we have help. Joseph Meekum is a guy that helps us out with web design. There's a lot of people kind of behind the scenes that do little things that help out and are very supportive. Will Sartain, Jesse Cassar, Angela Brown, and Slug, and just there's a lot of people that are behind us that we really appreciate. So
that's great.
Thanks to all those people.
No, it's a great, Salt Lake City really has a great community, especially with the music scene and the art scene, and everybody kind of gets together and supports each other.
It does. And one thing that we really want to do with Crucial Fest is sort of bring together a lot of the different groups that are supportive of music and art that maybe don't have a dialogue with each other. Try to bring those different groups together and sort of unify the scene. That's one thing that we kind of want to see happen. Because, I mean, there's a lot of, the kids that go to the metal shows that like hip-hop a lot, but they just aren't in touch with the local hip-hop scene.
Which is amazing, by the way.
Which is amazing. Yeah. Vice versa. So I'd like to see more people going to a variety of different types of shows. And
maybe this will expose them to, is your lineup pretty set, or are you still looking for bands
We're set at this point. Yeah, it's locked in.
Yeah,
we've had a lot of interest this year, which I've been really excited about. Unfortunately, I've had to say no to more bands than I was able to say yes to.
Is that hard?
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, it's hard when you're in a band and you're trying to get involved with something that you feel like represents you, to not be offended or, feel like whatever. It's just a matter of, I got to pick what I really think represents Salt Lake the best, and bands that I feel like are working the hardest. So, I really like that so many bands apply, and I hope they always will. And we'll do what we can to include as many acts as we can. But at the end of the day, 70 is a lot. But, there's almost a couple hundred.
Are they going to play shorter sets, or is it pretty much...
The average set's going to be about 25 minutes, yeah.
Which is about your average. I mean...
It's about your average, but it's also moving pretty quick. I find that, especially with the music festival, people's attention spans are pretty short. So you got to keep the bands moving and...
Well, plus it's just kind of cool to go hang out with your friends anyways, and just take the days.
Have a good time. That's what it's all about.
Well, what time during the week is it? You might have mentioned it at the beginning.
So Wednesday and Thursday we have an all ages show at Kilby Court, and then a bar show. So the all ages show will start around 6 or 7.
Okay.
And then the bar show start around 9.
Okay, so you don't have to take the day off of work or anything like that.
And even Friday, we were trying to maybe get it to be like that, where you'd have to take work off, but it's not going to really get rolling until about 3 o'clock anyways. You can get off work and come hang out on Exchange Place.
Yeah, excellent. And again, the dates are June 26th, the 27th, the 28th, the 29th.
That's right.
Crucial Fest 3. And I'm excited. I'm really excited. You got some great bands playing. And what song do you want to end the show with?
So let's throw on a song from Burning Love. It's called Don't Ever Change. This is one of the bands I'm most excited about playing. So
excellent.
Let's check them out.
Anything else you want to add before we play this track?
No, I just, appreciate your listeners and you taking the time to have me on.
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad that Salt Lake seems to be such a coherent place. People are interested in what's going on, and that makes me happy.
Well, thank you so much, and looking forward to Crucial Fest.